Welcome everyone! It's been a while, but we finally have a gigantic tutorial on how to make armors for this godforsaken game. As an example, we're gonna make this smoking pipe. It's gonna be a helmet. If you wanna make a static helmet, this is how you do it. For now, all you need to know is you should follow these tutorials if you haven't seen them earlier, and also don't forget to check out my mod page with a bunch of tutorial stuff. This is where I upload the assets which hopefully will help you start your journey in modding this fun game. Okay, допустим. First and foremost, you're gonna need an Unreal editor, which yes, you'll have to get from the Epic Games Store, the best game store, not just a glorified Fortnite launcher, it's also a launcher for getting an Unreal editor, which you download once and never touch this shit again, I promise. This is such bullshit. You need an Unreal Engine version 5.3.2, that's what Oblivion uses. Now, ideally, you should download Tripster's project. It's already compiled, it's specifically designed for this game. I'll leave you the link. It's optional, but it is very much recommended. Now, you might have to use Visual Studio 2022, install a bunch of plugins from there. I'll leave you a link. If you can't figure it out, if it still doesn't launch, join our Discord and we'll figure it out there somehow. A bunch of people managed to make it work. I managed to make it work and I'm a nobody. So I believe in you. Next we need Blender to actually work with our models. If you don't like Blender, it is fine. You can use my 3ds Max, whatever. But only Blender has this fantastic plugin with Shrek. Shrek is love, Shrek is life. Shrek will let us export models from the game, but they are exported as PSK files, PSAs for animations, and Blender can interpret them. So this is why we need Blender, to get this plugin and to get the model, and then you can export it as an FBX and work in, well, any model program that you want. Next we need our sacred trio of modding programs. First, Fmodel. You can find it. I'll leave a link to the folder. I included it in the folder. It has an open license. I'm allowed to do this, alright? Here are my settings for it. The mapping file, it's also included in the folder that I'm sharing. What is a mapping file? Jace, what the fuck is a mapping file?
I have no idea.
Exactly. Nobody knows. So the mapping file tells the program where all the files are supposed to go, how to extract them, and how to package them back so that the game can interpret them. I think. If the game ever gets updated, which hopefully it won't, but if it does, you need to generate a new mapping file. Someone will do it for you, don't worry about it. Retalk, it's something that we use to extract cooked assets. Don't ask me what it is, it's not important. And to package our cooked assets, which is how I package my mods in a zip file that can be interpreted by the game. So yeah, in order to unpack, you get your folder path to the pack files. Then output is whatever directory you like, and then you need to copy the file path of the asset that you want extracted. 5.3 version, of course. We'll mostly be using repacking. While repacking, don't forget to add extension .utalk. We'll talk about it later. Finally, US GUI. We will not be using this today, but it also needs a mapping file, version 5.3 of Unreal. Once you have it all set up, you can open Blender. Where do you get the model? Usually from Sketchfab. Maybe you buy it. I don't know. In our case, we took it from Sketchfab. First thing that you do is you import your general humanoid. You can extract it with Fmodel, good for practice, but I also included this file in the folder. Hopefully Virtuous will not take it down. Editor Alex. Show the picture of how I imported and the settings. There we go. Now don't forget to rename the armature into armature. This is important, otherwise there will be an extra bone. And I mean, we're all a big fan of a large boner, but Unreal doesn't understand our passion. Finally, when you have your skeleton here set up with your body mesh, you add the helmet mesh. Well, in our case it is a smoking pipe. Well, you just move it in Blender, position it as you want. Google some basic Blender tutorials. Basically use G to move it, X, Y, Z for different axes. Axi? I don't know. Axis? Irden, Ard, Igni, and other witcher signs. Right mouse button to cancel whatever you were doing. R for rotating. Try set origin to geometry. Then you can set origin back to 3D cursor. Once you position it the way you want it, you need to paint the weights. Now, here's a life hack. Click on the armature, then shift click on the mesh that already has weights. Then shift click on this bad boy over here. Then switch to weight paint. And if you want weights and transfer weights, holy shit, I'm freaking out. Select nearest face interpolated by name. This is how you can transfer the weights. And if you take a look, it has a lot of weights. Remove and use vertex groups. This is a plugin for Blender. And finally, head. Yes, we need to give our helmet the head. Just like you do your homies.
You keep making references like that. This is going to be a different type of video.
Oh, I hope. Okay, as you can see, it's painted red. It means that all of it has one weight and one vertex group head. So theoretically, we can test. If we go into pose mode and rotate, not this. Shut. Hello, doggo. See, it gets rotated with your player's head, which is exactly what we want. Select everything with A, clear transform, all, switch back. Incredible. Right. Now we need to export an FBX. We select this, we shift click, select this. We go to File, Export as FBX. Now I have a preset already set up. By the way, to select several, you can shift click. Selected objects, armature and mesh for the skeletal mesh, transform. Geometry face, apply modifiers, vertex colors linear. Luckily vertex colors don't matter for this, but it does matter for weapons, because weapons are enchanted and they use vertex colors for enchantments. Only deform bones, no leaf bones, and uncheck animation because we're not working with animations. Then the name, I'm gonna rename it SK Pipe Helmet. What the fuck did I say? Now let's not forget the ground mesh. The ground mesh is what we see in our inventory and when we drop it on the ground. Again, File, Export FBX. Very similar, only just export the mesh. It'll come with its own collision, it's fine. Now, you might see the textures. How do you set up materials? This is how. Usually the material consists of two textures, the base color texture and the NNRM. Base color is, well, the albedo color, base color diffuse map. This is what it looks like with just the color texture. If you want the roughness, the normals, the metallic, you have it all merged in an NNRM. By the way, if you have opacity, transparency, it's in the alpha channel of the albedo map, diffuse map, base color map. Now, this complex setup is made specifically to interpret the textures for Blender. Bear in mind that OpenGL and DirectX, for some reason, use different coordinates for normal maps, so you might have to invert your green channel of your normal map.
Answer just said Pog. He was trying to dress himself as a tree. Okay, new Sam, just
Okay.
a second.
So how do you merge the base color texture, the normal map, the roughness texture, and the metallic texture into an NNRM? Number one, convert it all to PNGs and use a texture processor. Actually, this is the simple route, so let's just do it. Let's follow the naming conventions of the game. T, pipe, helmet, N. The roughness, big on. We're gonna be using the PNG. It has to be a PNG for this tool to work. This is R for roughness. This is M for metallic. This is D for diffuse. This is just a mistake. We open the texture tool processor. We go to the merge texture and NRM and we browse. This is our normal map. This is our roughness map. This is our metallic map. Let's start processing. Nice. Now it's saved all of it as an NRM. This is what it should look like eventually. Kind of. Kind of. Did I just close Blender? Now whether or not we should invert the green channel, hard to tell. We're gonna have to go the long way. Okay, we take our NRM. We open it with Photoshop. We need a super PNG plugin. Now, we only select the green. Copy. Paste. There we go. Now we add an invert filter. Then we merge these two layers. Okay, now we have one single layer of inverted green channel. We hide it, we go back, here we go to channels green, and we Control V. To select and deselect. To select everything I press Control A, by the way. Okay, now if we enable all the channels, it should look kind of like this. If can delete this, I think. Control Shift S. Save a copy. Super PNG. Because Super PNG can save alpha channel not just as a transparency, but as pretty much anything else. Okay, so it's inverted, so well, it's all worked, but that's because we didn't set it as non-color. Now, it should look correct. Finally, we fixed the textures. Apparently that's step 1. Hi everyone, this is Editing Alex from the future. So anyway, I didn't record this process, but pretty much this is how I create icons now. What I need to do is I need to get the ground object, well usually ground object, depends, it can be whatever model you want. You add a camera, and you position it as you want. You can lock it to view to position it better. Then you add some lights, you tweak the lights, you tweak the angle, play around with the camera. You need to do it in the render mode preview. Once you have it all tweaked as you like it, you should find a way to disable, well, pretty much the background and transparency. Icons need to be transparent in the background. Then you export it, render image. Don't forget to select the appropriate resolution. Usually 512 by 512 pixels is okay. 256 by 256 is also fine. Once you're satisfied, you can drop it in a very, very specific folder in Unreal. Oh, bear with me. UI, icons, dynamic icons, menus, icons, armor. What a beautiful, lovely icon picture. Add it here. Save. Make sure it has the alpha channel. Nice. Finally, when everything's ready, open Unreal and shove it up your... This is where we save our models for armor. Content, art, armor. Let's make a new folder, let's call it Smoke Pipe. Go to the FBX, we drag it here. Now, we don't create physics assets, we don't create new skeletons. All we need is to parent it to an existing skeleton, which is in our case, humanoid skeleton. The head rig is for very complex head meshes or very complex hoods, I meant to say. Almost no hood deserves to be this complex. but for some reason some of them are, like Mythic Dawn Hood, for example. I have no idea why. Humanoid female added specifically for the NBO mode. Skull humanoid skeleton. Vertex color replace. It doesn't matter for us though. You can check it. All assets, materials. All assets. Create new materials. Why? Because we don't have a material for this boy yet. It doesn't recognize the NNRM. Okay, physics has it. Be gone, thought. We don't need you. Pipe helmet. This is fine. Actually, it's not, because we don't need a material. Well, we cannot exactly make new material, so what we do is we parent it to an existing material. We make, well, specifically we make a material instance of a material that already exists in the game. We're using the most common one, which is something base material FPS clip in fix using an NRM. We're doing it live here. MIC T base material FPS clip in fix using an NRM material. Yep, that's the one. Now these are parameters. Basically, a base material is a preset. It's a template, so that you don't create new materials for the game to compile, understand, invent. No, you create a base material. You create it's a giant material with all the settings that the game supports. I'm an amateur, I don't know shit about this, this is how I understand it. Then you create a bunch of extra presets, complex presets from that material. And then you make presets of that preset to use in your models. So basically everything is here pre-configured. All we need is to add our textures, which is and make sure to change compression settings to masks. I'm not sure why, but this is important. Now, you have your NNRM, you need to go to the settings and set it to mask, otherwise it will not display appropriately in the game. Why? I don't know, it has something to do with sRGB, I think. Or non-color. There we go. It's like in Blender, you need to swap it to non-color when you're working with roughness or normals or whatever. It's the similar thing here, I think. Now the material textures are applied appropriately. And the physical material, do we have wood? Yep, we do in fact have wood. Pipe helmet. And would you look at this, such beauty, it looks nice, it looks kinda nice, I don't know, is this artifact supposed to be here? I think that's a weird shadow, oh well, never mind, it just works. I'm using right click to this, I use my mouse to the speed, to configure the speed, I use WASD to move. The material, it's all one material. Here, I don't think we change anything here. Let's not put this thing. Boop, 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 boop. So, what we're gonna export is this material instance. Remember, the parent already exists in the game. We don't need to export the parent, we don't need to export this. This is our skeletal mesh. It's parented to the skeleton, which also already exists in the game. And the textures, well, those don't exist in the game, these are brand new. Now I'm gonna create the skeletal blueprint, or what is it, the body part section, something like this. Forms, items, armor. Let's make a new folder. I think the blindfold will work. It's a skeletal helmet. Now, if you're using Tripsys project, maybe your own, okay. You can grab the assets from the folder that I provide and drop them where? Well, here, in the content folder of your Unreal project. you should have access to blueprints that I personally use for creating armor. Just copy them, paste them where you want them, swap the meshes and the materials, edit the bit mask. What's a bit mask? There is a separate video on that. Basically, I'll leave you some links, you can study it. We open it. The viewport. This is a mesh from a different mod. Male body part section hidden. We say 1. It pretty much means it doesn't hide anything, because we don't want it to hide anything, right? Now we compile it. Now, it's a helmet blueprint, pretty much. Should it hide hair? No. Should it hide head? No. But it could. But we don't want it. But we could. Body part section hidden. I already made a separate video on that. It's pretty much a hex number or a decimal. I don't know. It's a number that tells you what vertex color painted part of the mesh to hide, of the body mesh. Now it's the same for males and females. Luckily, we... Oh no, if we're gonna make Argonian and create specific heads, we're gonna have to open a blueprint for skeletal helmet with US GUI. I really don't want to do that. Now, Cafe is a very useful tool to create forms. It's not perfect, but it works. Just use the example forms provided in my folder, and you should be good. We open Cafe. We go to Armor. Select a template. LBR Wiki. Tools from Alex. Tutorial forms. Example forms. You can find all of this online on the wiki by now, by the way. There. We point it to one of the forms in my tutorial forms folder, or example forms. Let's go for Umbra. Now, this is the location of your... The ground mesh! We forgot to make a ground mesh. This already looks nice. Scroll down, find collision presets, block all, and set it instead to custom. Now, according to Tripster, these settings are already correct, but you probably don't even have the Tripster project, so just set it to custom. Yeah, I think this seam is okay. I mean, it looks like that in Unreal, but in the game I think it actually means it looks nice. But I don't know. We'll see. Well, go back to Cafe. Game, art, there. Instead of content, it'll be game. Art, G and Z. See, it's already set up for me because templates, because conventional naming. The path for the body part forms, no. And the location for this. Oh, there is a typo here, by the way. And the name. Pipe Helmet 0. I want it to be named Pipe Helmet 0. Okay. Because I think you're gonna make more iterations. Now we save it. You can just copy the file path from here. This is my workflow, by the way. Save. Bippity boppity. The mod is complete. Unreal is stupid, it will cook everything. You cannot tell it cook only this thing. No, it has to cook everything, and it can cook everything except the paths that you specify. Cooking done. You may be wondering, what did we just do? Well, see these are... Well, first of all, we need to look at this. These are cooked assets. We can open and edit them with a program like UI. You need a use map file, it's a mapping file. I already have it. Cooked assets. rock mic pipe. And now I need the art folder from here. Well, not the entire folder, but it's gonna be convenient for me to just copy paste it. It seems like a lot, but that's because he exported pretty much everything I had there, which is a lot. Hello, Edit and Alex here again. If you can't tell by that dying voice of mine, I wasn't really focused, so I'll reiterate. What I'm doing now is, after I done cooked all the assets, I'm just grabbing them. You find them in the folder of your project. I'm showing you where mine was. Then I take all of them, then I'm gonna put them neatly, nicely where they're supposed to go, and then we're gonna all package it with retalk, and then try loading this shit in the game. And this is our asset. Nice. Now we close this. Now I think we should finally be good to package it. Now I make a folder and name it pack. We had a raw folder where we have cooked assets, but they are not packed, and now we're gonna have a packed folder. We'll launch retalk. Pack. You need a USMap file for this one too, Unreal Engine 5.3. And we need to add _p.utalk. This is important, very important. Without _p, it will not load, especially if it's a custom. Now, actually, if it's a custom thing, standalone completely, it probably will load, but if it's a replacer, it will not. It will not override the files in the vanilla game. So just in general, I add _p everywhere. And .utalk, that's the extension. Without it, the retalk will package whatever the he wants to. Now we copy it. Now what we can do is we can open your... We pretty much don't need any of this now. All we need is this. So in the video we had a happy accident and the wrong file for the sync map. So I'm fixing it. But what you should be doing is you should make an ini file with the exact name as your ESP. Only instead of ESP it's gonna be an ini. You add meshes like this in square brackets, and then you add the editor ID of your item. You can see it in the ESP without the first two numbers because those are the load order, and it will get the load order from the name of the ESP. It will see what position it has in your load order, and it will add it later. That's how Syncmap works. And then you add the path to the form that you assign to this record. This is pretty much what I'm doing. Nice. Game forms. Remember what we packaged there. This is like the armor record. You connect in this record to this record in Unreal. And now that record connects it to the armor add-on, which is like how it behaves on your player or on any other NPC. If it should change for a different mesh, different model, if it's an Argonian or a beast race or a female model, what parts of the body to hide? Should it hide head or hair? I think if I try to deploy mods now, it will detect changes. These are deleted. Let me check something. Mods. Don't tell me. Oh no. 0 rock mic pipe. For convenience, this is how I do it. Yes, confirm. 0 rock mic pipe. Oh, there you go. Yep, all good. Now let's open XEdit and take a look at your ESP file. Smoking pipe. Just in case, let me load the alter ESP. Smoking pipe. Oh yeah, and this is also where we assign the... well, all the usual stuff, but mainly I wanted to show the icon. Now, let's take a look at any armor. Yeah, just copy this. Edit. Armor. What did we name your rock mic pipe dot DDS? Keep this. Keep this. Keep this. Keep this. We're gonna load the bloody game. Oh boy. Oh, it hurts. Smoking pipe. Yay! I mean, it kind of works. Pa-pa-da-pa-pa. Oops. I'm sorry.
You look like a shrew.
That's the look of a shrewd businessman. That's right, lady. That's what a shrewd businessman looks like. What's up?
Let's hear it.
Yeah. Let me... Backpack, barter... Oh, no, it's not here. Yeah. Here you have my gorgeous... Ah! Alright, hope this video was helpful to at least some of you. This was a crash course into modding armor. If you want some topics to be explained in more detail, please leave it in the comments and I will make shorter videos in the future explaining this particular topic that you're interested in. Join our Discord server and follow the Oblivion modding wiki. And finally, just go and make mods. It's not as difficult as you might think it is. See you in Cyrodiil. Yeah. I'm stuck, by the way. I can't even move my head. I can only move my mouth, my eyes. Thank you, Todd. Yeah. Okay, see ya.